Hey guys, Stephen here, and we're back to another Roblox tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you on how you can add a separate coin label. So instead of the coins in the leaderboard, we're going to create another UI for it. So for that, let's start. So first things first, of course, you still need to check on your leader script on where the coins are in, and you would need to get a UI. So let's get a UI going. Maybe let's just copy one here. Let's copy this. Let's rename this to coins, and then let's delete this. Let's just adjust it to more on go with our second quadrant. Oops, not the size, of course. Let's put it on our second quadrant. No, second would be 25. And now we have it on our second quadrant. Let's add a text label. This would be our coin label. And then so that it has a fixed amount of stuff, let's adjust it 0.1. This is enough. We're gonna choose our favorite font, which is Fedoka, and then let's scale this and maybe remove the transparency and make this color white. And then let's make all this transparent, and now we have a coin label. Next is we need to have script for it. Since we already have our coins, which is this is leaderstat having an int value of coins, what we need to get on the script is to always get that int value. So how are we going to change that is we're going to first check if it's working. So if you see the coins are changing, so we would have this label go from 0 coins going to 400. And what we need to do is we need to get the coin value and then make sure that every time it change, it also match the label. So what is showing here should also show here. So how do we do that? Let me teach you. So first things first, let's get our variables. So let's get our player, which is a game.player is local player. And then we're gonna get our leader stats, create AI, and then we're gonna have coins. And then of course we're gonna have our label as well. And then after that, we will get our label.text would be the coins.value, which is coins, the coins in the leader stat, which be they would be equal. So whatever change, it's always gonna happen. So let's test if it's gonna change. So it turns from 0 going to 400. So what changed? So on our code, label.text is equals to coins value. The only reason it doesn't change because the change happens when the trigger. So this is a finished code, and we need to add a code to always check if it is changing value, or at least if there was a trigger to change the value. So let's check what we need to add. Let's stop first test. So let's remove this, and we're gonna add something of like there's a word or sentence. No, let's just stick with words, let's say coins, before the actual value. So how do we do that? It's still the same label dot text, but equals to something of coins. Yeah, this is good. Coins dot value. So every time, let's say we play, we're gonna have a coins which is equals to 0, but we still don't have a trigger whenever it change. So now that we have achieved our word there, we need to have the trigger change. So instead of saying that just this and using the connect function, what we're gonna do is actually use the get property change. So whenever it change, it gets updated. But what do we need to update? That would be the coins. So coins property, oops, property change, uh, property change signal, and then what kind of property. So in our leaderboard, we have a value, which is the 0, and that's what changed. So we're gonna add this value. So every time value is changed, we're gonna also change the visuals. And that's the time we will put connect. Then we're gonna use the function. And then that's the time we will add our label is equals to coins, coins dot value, and then we can remove this. So actually no, we won't remove this because that would be your initial value, and then whenever it change, it also runs the code again. This way, um, it's not looping, like it's not always checking that the code is running, and it would save some CPU usage in your game. So let's test if this is correct. So let's play. We have our coins at 0. We have our coins at 0. Let's teleport. Coins are at 400. Coins are at 400. Let's say we reset. It's still there. So that's how you add a coin page in your game. So on maybe on the next video we will make this beautiful by adding images, additional UIs, but what's happening is, or what's going to happen is, we don't need to change the code. So let's say I copy this and then actually just put it here, and then maybe put it in a different position so we could see, let's say 0.1. So this is also duplicate, so not the same parent, but we still have the same we still have the same result. So wherever you put this, as long as the parent is the actual text label, this should work. And if you found value in this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you in another video. Bye bye.